it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me for another tutorial. Just to remind you, I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, so if you're in the UK and you need any Stampin' Up products, I would be thrilled to welcome you to my group of customers. It's because people buy things from me that I can bring these videos. So I am going a bit down memory lane and going back to the annual catalogue, and specifically the Bird Ballad suite. I bought, back at the beginning of the catalogue, the Bird Ballad laser cut cards and tin. Haven't used them, not once, but they are beautiful. There's a picture of the tin lid here that's been decorated. This is one of them. I don't think we've got any more over the page. No, we haven't. But yeah, hand up, I haven't used them, so I thought I would put that to rights. They are £17. There's 12 cards, 12 matching envelopes, and the envelopes are beautifully scalloped. And they come in this gorgeous, gorgeous tin, which, if I can find the lid, there it is. Isn't that just, oh, I mean, it's just so pretty. And of course you can make up all the cards, put them in the tin, possibly with a piece of tissue paper, and wrap it as a gift. So decorate the outside, tie some ribbon round, and of course the petal pink and rose gold ribbon would be beautiful with this. Let me, have I got it? Yes, I have. It's hiding. It's hiding up here. Look at that. This is from the Parisian suite in the Spring Mini catalogue, but I'm not using that today. So let me show you what I am going to make. I don't need these because I picked out what I need. So this is what I'm going to show you how to make. So I've lined the front of my card with some petal pink, just plain card, and fussy cut the beautiful birds, which can be any sort of bird you want. I'm thinking blue tit-ish. I mean, they're not, but ish. And then, because it was just perfect for what's going on at the moment, the world needs more of you and thank you were the two sentiments that I picked out, because I thought this would be a perfect card to send someone who's done something special for you during our interesting times. But we're the best friends, so that you can send to your friends who you haven't seen for a while, because we're not allowed to socialise. Also, hello, brilliant. So your friendship means the world to me. I mean, this is just such a perfect set of stamps for these times. And then there are the beautiful papers, which these are on a Whisper White base, whereas the cards are very vanilla. So you can fussy cut some of these out if you want. Just be careful which ones you use if you're going to use them with the tin of cards, because, as I say, they are not quite the same colour base. So let me show you how to make the card. I'm going to make it in So Saffron this time. I've got a scrap of Very Vanilla. It's a large scrap of Very Vanilla, but it's a scrap of Very Vanilla. I've got my birds mounted up on a block, and I'm just going to ink them up with my Memento, and so that I don't waste too much card. Stamp them down. Do make sure you give them a good press so you get lots of nice outline. And there we go. So you need to leave this to dry for a little before you introduce blends. So while we're doing that, I'm going to line my card. The cards are 5.5 by 4 1/4. They're the American half sheet of letter size. Some of them, and this one is one of them, some of them do have some of the little bits from the laser cut still in, so you can just get rid of those so that they're not there, or cover them up if you'd rather do that, but I'll just get rid of them with my Take Your Pick tool, which is brilliant for these sorts of things. Most of them are fine. There's just one or two where the laser didn't quite cut. That should be everything. it is. So I have cut my So Saffron slightly shorter, I mean the hair's breadth shorter, and slightly more than a hair's breadth narrower. In fact, I think I might even trim that down a little more. The reason for that is because you don't want it poking out from the side. So I'm just going to bring in my little trimmer, which is only available in the starter kit during Celebration. So if you want it, you haven't got long, just saying. But it's great for trimming teeny weeny bits off. So let's get that down so it's not going to cut my fingers off. So that is that, ready to go. Now you don't need that much adhesive. I must just cough, I've got a dry throat. It's still the leftovers from the bad throat I had weeks ago. And because I've been doing lots of videos and I've been on phone calls with my father, who bless him is been told he's got to stay in his house for 12 weeks because he is vulnerable in the current climate. So I've been speaking with him and therefore having to raise my voice a little more than usual, which does mean it's putting a bit of a strain on my throat. So I'm just going to add a little bit just in the middle, because there are these bits that are easy enough to add some extra adhesive to. Yep, should do. So I can pop the lid on that and then pop your card inside, and making sure it is straight on the card base, simply close the top over it and then turn the whole thing over and rub from the back. And that way you're not going to catch any of the laser cut, so you're not going to tear it, but it'll get a nice bit of pressure. And there we are. Perfect. So I'll pop this to one side again, it just needs to finish drying, and we'll have a look at colouring our birds. I've got a selection of blends. I've got the light and dark soft suede, the dark petal pink, the dark and light seaside spray, dark So Saffron, and light old olive. So the colours do change slightly because we are on vanilla rather than white, but they are actually pretty true to the original colour. So this is petal pink on vanilla and this is the petal pink background. You know, they're not shouting at each other. This is soft seaside spray, and the blue there is seaside spray. So, you know, they are still very true, even though you're using them on a vanilla background. Now, I'm not going to colour every last thing. It's just really to show you how I'm doing it, because I do Blue Peter. And I will come on to that in a minute. So the dark soft suede, I'm just going to go along the bottom of the branch, and if there are any kind of knots marked in, I'm going to go up those, just so that we've got a little bit of a difference between the top and the bottom of the branch, which means that it looks as if it's shade, you know, in the sunshine, so the top is lighter. You could, of course, add extra shading because the birds are sitting on the branch, but there does come a point at which life gets a little bit too short. So that's basically the branch, and then just anything that's obviously a bit thicker. Then the petal pink just on the blossoms, really easy, no shading at all. And then for the bird, as I say, you can make these into whatever little bird you want. I just do seaside spray on the top half, and it's sort of a blue tit. It's not, but it sort of is. So dark, soften that with some light. Blend it in, and then finally the So Saffron just in the middle, and then the beaks you can do with either dark or light soft suede. Simple as that. And then fussy cut, but Blue Peter special. Here's one I've prepared earlier. So bring in your card base, that's going to just pop on there. I've got a scrap of Very Vanilla for my main sentiment, which goes on the outside. So we'll grab our ink pad, get that nicely inked up, and actually I'm going to do it that way up because it was curving up, which meant I was stamping into mid-air, which is never a good idea. Hold it there for a bit so that the ink transfers, come up, and then while I've got that out, let's pop that over there, I can ink up my thank you and just go straight into the middle, and there you've got your thank you. Cover that up, and I'm going to cut this out with the tailored tag punch, but so I can flag the ends. Now you can do that with a pair of scissors, but I quite like using, oh, helps of course if you go in the right end, doesn't it? So you want to make sure you know where your sentiment finishes, line it up so that it's parallel and centered. Punch, and there's your lovely flagged end. Moral of the story is check your battery before you start recording your video. I actually did, but clearly not well enough. Anyway, so Seaside Spray ribbon. This is the linen scalloped edge ribbon, which is in all of the in colours, the ones that we'll be carrying over into the new catalogue. So let's just cut that in half. I've got a piece of, or I will need a piece of tape, tear and tape, that is about yay long, and this I'm also going to cut in half. Oop, don't really want to use those scissors, I want to use my sticky scissors. And this is what I'm going to stick the ribbon on with. The reason I am cutting it in half is because if I used a full strip, it would stick out past the ribbon, which is not really what I want, because it could then end up sticking to the card in a way I don't want it to, because this is going to be popped up on dimensionals. So just stick that to your little tag. And this side. There we go. And then trim the ends, both sides, or both ends I should say. And just like that. And then we just need to stick everything on with dimensionals. So, and this is why I said a full strip would have been too sticky. So let's grab dimensionals. I'll just use a couple. So we'll pop that down on our card. Now I have got, assuming everything is according to plan, I've got another video this afternoon. So do have a look at that. Or keep your eyes peeled for it. As I say, if everything goes according to plan, I'm a little bit further behind than I wanted to be. So I think one or two things are just falling by the wayside. I'm kind of almost picking them up, but just a little bit. Just an itsy-witsy little bit. Now, if you don't have the mini dimensionals, you can just cut your ordinary dimensionals in half or use the edge pieces. Well, I'll just pop another one just down there. And I'm being reasonably generous because this will also help keep the laser cut paper attached to the cardstock. Because as you remember, we've only got a little bit of adhesive around the outside and then a little bit more in the middle. So it's fine, it will stay, but it will just, anything we can do to help it a little bit along is not going to hurt. Got that one off. See, I should be putting my lines on the backs of my dimensionals. And there we go. Okay, so of course the other thing we can do is add some stamping to our envelope, which I forgot to do on the first one, so let's sort that one out now. So all I'm going to do is just use the same stamp. I'm not going to use all of it, but we'll ink up a bit and then probably about that much. And this is where I hope I've got the envelope the right way up. Yes. And there we go. So those are my first laser cut cards. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, as ever, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, I would be thrilled if you would. It's just down there. And do remember that all the measurements and everything I've used, as well as some close-up photographs, will be on my website, which is immediately below in the description bar. Questions or comments, please add those to the comment section below the description bar. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. And remember that if you're in the UK, I would be thrilled if you would shop with me. Thank you very much. Bye!